Okay. 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 Facebook. I got one better for you. One better than whatever you just responded to. I have one better for you. Here, go with me. Do it just like this. Read. Just ask yourself. Go to Google. Ask how old is the Grand Canyon, and then you read. Well, the Grand Canyon is a hodgepodge of old and new sections, as the researchers found in a recent study published in the Nature Geoscience Journal. Some scientists believe the Grand Canyon is 70 million years of age. It's even 70 million years old there. Others contend that the nature wonder is only between 5 and 6 million years. So that is always just. I'm a geologist. I'm a retired engineer, and I used to fly airplanes. So, why would you not trust that data? Why would you not take something like that and say, that's two numbers and gather a little bit more information? That's whole two numbers right there. How long have you had that Grand Canyon out there? Is it in the Bible? Now, so what could you use in the Bible? Maybe you're here on this Facebook stuff that's saying the Earth is only 6,000 years of age, and you're teaching that. You're teaching that you know what you're talking about. That's kind of dumb. That's really immature, is how I would use that, saying that to you. And let me explain why. 70 million years? Well, that's biblical. No, it's not. That's okay. Others contend the natural wonder is only between 5 and 6 million years old. Why don't we go look? James Escher, he came with October 23, 4004 BC. Let's go over here. GotQuestions.org. You're one of those. I was baptized. They're now 622045, teaching the same. Teaching the same. What do you ask them? Do this. Do this, Facebook user. Facebook user. How old is your Facebook group? How old is God? How old is the Bible? They don't give a shit. How old is Abraham when David died? They got that one wrong. How old was Dad when he died? The Bible tells us 930 years, so they might be right. How old is David when he was anointed with Goliath? Well, I'm Ben David, by the way. So right there, he was an albino. I'm sorry, that question is that called, but you're just an albino cult. You're only an moral incompetent albinical cult. Questions.org. It's Facebook. Come on, you deal with this shit and you teach this. Isaac Newton, he was a mathematician also, 1642. Christians during the time of Isaac Newton bought that. And I'd buy it too. The earth is 6,000 years of age if you want it to be, and you want to be as dumb as that. But I don't want you to remain as dumb as that. Well, I want to look at some reality. Isaac Newton was a mathematician. I'm Ben David, and I'm going to explain to you mathematically how Jesus himself was a mathematical false Messiah. How did I figure out that? How did I figure out I was Ben David? Well, I happen to have been born from Ben David. If anyone's going to claim on Facebook that Jesus was a false Messiah of all things, who's going to do that? We would have to do something pretty extraordinary. There you go. In order to account for Jesus and put him someplace, huh? Well, let's just put him on Facebook. Jesus. Who doesn't know that Jesus was a false Messiah? I'd like to describe Yeshua the Messiah, Ben Yosef to you, who's not Jesus, and you got left in hell with that one. You ready for that? Is that something you kept 6,000 years? You need to hear it. You need to hear it. You need to hear it. It's 13 years, 14 years, and it's shame on you. It is that. You're in this Facebook group now, and you're teaching that this earth is 6,000 years of age. You're keeping that. You're not using this internet to determine if that could have been a legend or not. What would capture you to stay at legend? Why would you remain at legend for so long and continue to teach? And it's very, very important. It's not in your school, so you're not able to comprehend the legends you're watching on TV. You just need to bow down and sit your fucking ass down and not teach that book anymore and not do that and not promote that book and stop teaching Jesus. You got it all wrong. Give me the whole fucking King James Version of the Bible. You're all in hell. You're all in hell. Every single one of you, because you are too dumb for the King James Version of the Bible. You're too far gone with it having been deduced for the age of the earth. You're all too far gone now. You're all too immoral. You're all too immoral to have the King James Version of the Bible. It's too sacred of a book for humanity, all of you. All of you. The King James Version of the Bible is actually too good for you guys. It is too good for humankind right now because of human evolution. Is that any more clear? Do I need to be any more clear with you? I'm making that abundantly clear. Cult organization. The King James Version of the Bible, all you idiots out there with churches, you're too dumb for the Bible now. Pope, you're too dumb for the Bible. You're running to me. Richard Dawkins, good job. I read your God delusion. You cherry picked a verse too, a story. Yeah, I read it. Yeah, you. Where'd you get that one from? Dawkins. You guys don't keep track of jack shit. You don't keep track of where this Bible is falsely taught at. You don't keep track of it, how it got out of your schools. Am I teaching it correct? Can I be sure to teaching it correct? How do I call? So why the fuck won't a cult turn off that has it? You're all so ignorant. So I'm in the year 2020. You are all in hell. You are so dumb, ignorant. I'm giving you guys that it's a speeding fucking ticket. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's a speeding fucking ticket. Close off Facebook and maybe talk about it. Is what you're in hell at. Maybe talk about it. Yeah, nobody's going to buy it because you're all too dumb for the Bible right now. I can't. You what? I have to take it from you in order to make you look Jesus and see what he did from Facebook? 6,000 years? 6,000 year Jesus? A 6,000 year cross? A 6,000 year story, a formation of this earth? A 6,000 year earth, you're going to remain dumb? What are you going to do why did he fucking ask that question? Why did he count back on your great ape toes as you evolved from 1859, you dipshit morons now, on Facebook? Too immoral, too dumb now. Too immoral is what year 2020 is for me, for having read the whole fucking King James Version, more so handwriting the whole fucking thing. More so. I did a hell of a lot more than that. It's a hell of a lot more than that. Yeah, a hell of a lot more than that. If I could even tell you, it would take you a year and a half to catch up with me at just typing. And copy pasting all your bullshit. About what's the same. Yeah, I have more post-it notes than they have web pages. Oh, this verse or that. Oh, that's what that meant. Oh, there's gravity now. Oh, wow, you can believe this thing. God's right there with you. How long does it take to put God back into the Bible? That's a story. That's a story for Facebook. Shut off Facebook because you're so dumb now. Kind of story is what kind of a story that would be. I like that one. I kind of need a potato though. I might just. This simple. This is not even science. This is not even science. This is not scientific. I happen to be a scientist, but what I'm outlining is not scientific. I happen to be a retired engineer, but what I'm outlining is not mathematical. I couldn't do it right now. What I'm outlining is, how do you understand gravity? Yes. What I'm outlining is what God did to you for having the King James Version of the Bible in print for so long. Everything that you were ignorant of, I'm going to be dip shit blind, stupid. Everything's going to keep moving forward in the exact change of nothing, except you got dumber and 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 dumber. So Lord Kelvin, thank you, dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. Hey, Richard Dawkins, thank you for recording yourself on YouTube. Dumber and dumber and dumber. Hey, Jimmy Swagger, thanks for 2005. Dumber and dumber and dumber. And hey, Jimmy Swagger, fuck you for 2010. Let's keep this thing on for another 10 years. Dumber. Oh, where's the blood for your inertias now? Swagger. 2020. Okay. 20. We cover that. 16 10 to get out. 16 10 2020 resource. The average age of energy. Now, I don't like anything I read. It's lame. I like the way I'm returning this. So the average age of energy, I like that. And we're going to stick with that. And I'm going to account for everything. All of their false authorship. Well, when did you evolve writing? We're done. And with that stupidity, you dipshit, moron, Christian, stupid 6 hours the earthers on Facebook, you're going to pay very fucking close attention to me right here. You fucking, it's too dumb for that Bible. You're too dumb for Facebook. You're too dumb. You're actually too dumb for Facebook. 6,000, you're too stupid for a typing thing. Who the fuck are you looking at? Go get a fucking grade ape and solve the theory of evolution on your Facebook wall, you moron. You're a dipshit dumb. Grade ape stupid. You personally are dipshit dumb, grade ape, human evolve. Oh, you're both so fucking stupid now. You personally don't ever come back to Facebook. Fuck you, 6,000. You're so dumb. Use technology. You're so fucking dipshit dumb. You personally. Whoever I'm tapping you out, go pull your head out of your ass. You're stupid. You stop using that Bible. You're so dumb now. Stop. Don't even try. Stop going to church. Jesus was a false Messiah. You're too dumb for that book now. Jesus himself, a false Messiah. You're too immature for that book now. Jesus. Who was he? Not you. Fuck you. Get rid of the book. Be done with it. You're done. Okay. So you evolved it. Good job. So 1610 clarified a couple of points. Let's make that abundantly clear. You're too dumb for math. Now we got it. However, I did have to pick up the 6,000-year thing in the Episcopalian Bibles. We're going to have to take away from now that Jimmy Swagger fucked up that one also. So that's where that full exchange comes from. However, it's right here also. So it worked. And it'll work a few more times. But this year 1666 making you shit your pants on Facebook? Yes. It's like a little special award I get to show you pictures of my mission trip and the amount of the 14 years I've wasted on the King James Version of the Bible. It is actually a little special moniker. There's an employment in that book. I should have showed you it. But so here's how that worked out for you with Lord Kelvin's deduction. You forgot about, and I also kind of did until I picked up on it. And then I was reminded. Fucking around here in Veritas, fucking around. I've been fucking with this Bible and the King James Version for all my life. I love the Bible, and it's like, oh, we're gonna have to get this back into our schools. At some point in time, I left just one night. I bet you that'll work for geology. So we'll do that when we get around to it. Somebody read it right? Somebody find it. Somebody prove it's geo. We still have these guys, and nobody can figure out that Genesis 1:9 was Pangea. Wow, that was weird. No, I did. Why did it take so long? That meant there was no Bible. It meant you interpreted everything wrong with the false Messiah on the cross, is what it meant. And the false Messiah's cross was his handwriting, is what it meant. And so, as I've been explaining the last little while, welcome to the OTO, I'm giggling a lot more right now, as I was reminded earlier. Oh, yeah, you have to treat the scripture a little bit more sacred. So I took a shower, a little more sacred. No. Treat the King James Version of the Bible sacred. You're about to stop preaching it then. What's it not doing in your schools? That's kind of a dumb place not to have it. Well, I teach that God magically proved 6,000 years ago. That's only if you were the King James Bible wrong. It's just time to get rid of that thing. So the proper way to read the Bible is it takes a really long fucking time. It takes 14 years to read the whole fucking Bible. You have to handwrite it at the same time. And you have to do a lot of other little extras like, hey, I'm not going to teach it. Little things like that. Hey, I'm not going to teach what I'm writing a book on others. I was writing a book back then. That's what I was known as. And so no, you don't teach that thing. So when I started this book, it turned out to be me just recording myself. Hey, why don't you guys come and do a little bit more? We can do a little bit more. You don't even need my book. You just need to tap out from 6,000 years. We need to tap out a cult of immoral incompetence. Too immoral to shut off. Too dumb, they need help. Too dumb, Baptists are too dumb to close churches. Catholics are too dumb to notice that their book is old. Protestants are too dumb to keep buying it. Literally BUYING. Whatever the pulpits preacher idiots are doing with it. Oh, I read this story and heard this thing on the news, and there was something that went on. Yeah, coronavirus. I've heard that too. So this is for Facebook. This one is for Facebook, kiddos. Human evolution, also a legend. What are you going to do with technology now? What are you going to do with technology? So where did the theory of evolution go wrong? Where did it go wrong? Where was it off? Not only was it off in print, and you haven't solved it yet, but it's just a theory. And not only is it that's a good one for science. Good job, evolutionists. Just a theory. You've never thought to learn how to close a theory? Yeah, I guess so. That would be a Facebook job. Guys, yeah, you're really great ape still. You 500-year great ape evolved writing. That's a really, really creative. You can be as creative as you want to be, for you got nothing. And so all in all, you're all on Facebook right now. I'm looking at it. You're all of these faces. None of you are great at it. Why don't you use those Facebook laws for a little bit more? Determining the age of the earth, determining how to close the theory of evolution, little things like that. And determining how to correct your churches for being too dumb with the age of the earth. There's. Why don't we conduct a legitimate? Okay, we're going to get the Bible into the schools. When will we do that? That's what I'm working on. When will we do that? It'll never happen until you pull your heads out of your asses teaching it at the pulpits. Not even joking. No one will take it seriously. Called too dumb to take that seriously. 1611, too dumb. No. God's willing to shame his Bible. God's willing to shame you for keeping it for so long. God, I'm shaming you. I'm letting you know God is ashamed of you. At the year's 2020, you still have that book. You still have that book at 6,000. You can't pull your head out of your ass and figure out that was false. Figure out anything false about it. Facebook can't figure out that the Bible's false with the true. Can't figure out it's both. It's a double-edged sword, little babies. It's a double-edged sword, little babies. Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. The Bible itself is a double-edged sword. It's not in your school, so you preach it, which is as dumb as a box of rocks. It's not in your school, so you think that the single use of some stupid thought you got in your Facebook brains growing up from grade 8s doing whatever the fuck you're too stupid to stop doing, to be honest. Too stupid to just no, I probably should just like grab it. You were. The psychology and the sociology of teaching such a gross, egregious legend is just, that is egregious, it's gross, it is immoral, and it is so far wrong. Continuing to preach, continuing to utilize the Bible itself, because itself had been made a deduction, which itself was false. The deduction of the Bible of a 6,000-year what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, I love that deduction also. I love that deduction compared to Lord Kelvin. 20 million, when did that come out? 28 million during what's in the millennium? Not long ago, or even now. So where's Darwin? 1859, 1856 is your first Neanderthal in all Earth history. How old are your mountains? No, NASA. Good job keeping the young Earth magic proofer over there. 6,000-year huts on Facebook. On Facebook, 6,000-year huts. Why would you keep that? That's you're not looking at reality. 6,000-year huts. What? Why am I in a Facebook group talking about how you're going to maintain a legend? You're keeping a medieval legend, Facebook user, with a 6,000 year. You're too immoral to have that book in print. You're actually too immoral to continue with the King James Version of the Bible with Facebook. You're all too immoral. You're all actually too dumb. You're all too far gone, and you're all too immoral. You're too immoral. And a timestamp. Get rid of the Bible. Look at everything. You can't read it. You put, hey, I want to use this word this one way, and you're all like this. Oh, I'm hard up. That's pretty swell. You know, you have no pride. You're too dumb. And that's fuck. Can't read another languages, so you don't need to read the Bible. You know, your test scores have dropped from the 70s, where you were graduating high school with the equivalency of the 2005 graduates who were, great job teaching Darwin. Where were they? Can you do math? Where were they? Your average test score in the 70s was what? And you were the exact same, except you're dumber. You need to grow up, little children. You're on Facebook. Utilize this tool to figure out the theory of evolution, like I did for you, and which is just print. Figure out the Bible, which is just print, just print Facebook. The Bible's medieval. Facebook's now medieval. Let's put a timestamp on medieval Facebook. When did we wake it up out of 6,000? When did we wake up Facebook out of 6,000? When did we wake you up out of 6,000? Why did you keep 6,000 for so long? Why did you keep buying it when you have this technology? when you have this internet cult that they're still there since '99? Are you part of them? What good are you teaching if you're teaching that you're too dumb to look at the legitimate age of the Alps? You don't believe science? 770 million. Why not? Why not? Why not, Facebook user? Why not 6,000 your Earth Facebook user? Why not? 3500 BC, you have your theory of evolution fully solved. Fully solved. 500 years delta into what would become next? The no more buying or selling of books. Jesus was a false Messiah. I'm Ben David. I'm going to show up here on Facebook and tell you to knock it the fuck off, to be honest. This is a medieval. All of it's medieval. Every word, every line, every sentence, every wrong comma. Tell you more later. You're right there. This is perfectly disappointing. Perfect disappointment. This is God for. This is a disappointment, Facebook user. This is a beautiful Facebook disappointment. I'm Ben David. Jesus was a false Messiah. Jesus himself was a false Messiah. Jesus himself was a false Messiah. Facebook user. Jesus himself was a false Messiah. An English, Greek, very, very complicated. I'm an engineer, leave it at that. Lord Kelvin also deduced why. So keep going. Where did he get it wrong? So how'd you get from 20 million to 4.53 billion years? Why does it matter? It doesn't. Yet it does. So we'll cover that. You had to figure out what all went wrong. Well, there's a shitload of everything if it's always been wrong. Took me 14 years in order to reconcile one verse. And having reconciled one verse, I reconciled on accident two out of it that said God and Moses were speaking face to face. Now I use those two verses in order to, hey guys, nope, God's and they can turn off. They're mentally ill. They have what's called a delusional disorder. Facebook user, you have a 6,000 year Earth delusional disorder. The year's 2020. It's time for you to wake up. this? Facebook user, time for you to wake up. What's this? Use your greater fingers to wake up. You don't need balls. We have Wikisource now. Be smart. You have a computer. You're a lot. I'm kind of worried about you. So that you have a computer. Good job for social networking. Let's use that better. Got questions on internetcult.org is mentally ill. They have what's called a delusional disorder. They can't figure out that this book shouldn't have been printed. And they're too dumb for that. With all of the red is what really oh, it hurts my eyes. That's all false. The red, so everything's made up in red. And it says 4004 BC. Made up. So right there, I got it. And I got King James Version right here without. And I got King James Version right here with. We got to get against Lord Kelvin is taking care of. So he had 200 million. Why not that? So because why? Because it doesn't fit 6,000. Who's a committed to Christian? Why do you think that? What do you not know about Earth history aside from everything? 6,000. So 6,000 on internet. What do you know about Earth history? I got something better for you. 6,000 your Facebook group. Why don't we say that didn't happen? And why don't we figure out how you're mentally ill for being so stupid for keeping that book in print so long at 6,000 years? How we have to turn it off because of you. How would we turn it off? What would it mean to turn this thing off? Well, Jimmy Swaggart hurts my eyes, so I'm not going to use it. So it's turned off. It's like going to church and getting preached to. God magically put you 6,000 years ago. In the beginning, with that one, it's once upon a time, God created the heaven and the earth. So you're smart enough now because it's the year 2020. You might have a cult somewhere. And you might. Why don't we take care of that? You cold member, you dipshit moron, 6,000 earth cold member, I'm taking care of you. Why don't we look at this a little bit closer? Now, here, it says in Deuteronomy 34:10, that's the most important verse. And there arose not a prophet since in Israel like unto Moses, who we really like because you're a dipshit moron, whom the Lord knew face to face. Did you know that the white little nothings are all in hell because if you're in America, you're probably made from the white cliffs of cover, probably. I can rest assured that it's close. It was a definite, depending on how opinion read it. But I got a much better story for you. If you read the King James Version properly, I have a much better story for you. Facebook user, I got a real story for you. A real story for you. Then God magically poofed once upon a time in the beginning. When was that? So God and Moses spoke face to face. Where's that at? Why did he have that? Find me again. Who wrote that? Find me another time. How'd that leave you at 6,000? And not having that little. Just why didn't you do that, Christian? The interpretation that the Bible was written for Jesus was a false interpretation of the Jesus, Christian. From Greek, yes, Christian. Into Russian? Yes, Christian. You can't read it, but I can, so fish like you. Mormon? Yes. Right here. You want to read another verse? Mormon, King James. Genesis. Exodus. You think it's God magically approved Mormons too? Oh, you don't think that? Why don't you take this away from them and read it? If you believe it, make sure that they got their shit around it like I did. You haven't checked it yet. You haven't validated. This is Revelation chapter 10, all of the extras, everything extra. Sermon on the Mount, what's extra about that? Chapter 5, verse 1. What's extra? Facebook user, what's extra? What did it say in Matthew chapter 5, verse 2? What's duplicated in Matthew chapter 5, verse 4? Is there a sermon for 3 chapters? You ever sat there for that long? We've never had somebody read that whole thing. That would take half an hour to do it right. Just say, no, and do this. Okay. 3 chapters. Fucking, that's not 3 chapters. You want to know what that actually looked like? It actually looked like, hey, what are you going to do with 6 houses? Christian. On Facebook, keeping 6,000. What am I going to do with you? What am I going to do for you? What am I going to do to explain to you that you're in hell? Christian on Facebook, breaking the internet. Did you know the internet was broken in 99 because you were born? So, yeah. You were born when? You're here. The internet was broken in 99 when God questions now too stupid and dumb to accept reality got born when I was watching them in 99. So we have to put some time stamping onto this. Well, yeah, I've been with you all your life. And me being with you all your life, I have to explain that question is not called. Me being with you all your life is there's just enough room in the Bible to explain to you. There's just enough places to put pictures like this. Also, you even invalidated CFR 191. I should have talked to that pilot before I went over there. And then this is where you invalidated CFR 191. And this is what happened to the Jews because you get the 1611 imprint. And the Christians are so incompetent, they don't think about things that well. This is what happened to the Jews because you took God out of the Bible twice. And a cult organization, this is what happened to the Jews because John 1:18 is the only misinterpreted. I broke the Bible verse all the way throughout. And so I had to break the Bible. Well, Jews got left here, their ashes did I resurrect because they all got burned in that one. Do you believe in the resurrection? I don't. But they don't either, apparently, so that we burn them. I actually do because when you die, you kind of just go, I'm going back to the dirt. God promised you that. And you're only given the Spirit if you actually pray and if you actually work with God. God and Moses spoke face to face. He wants you to have the Spirit, but you can't have one with the Bible in front right now. You're actually not capacitated to have a spiritual spirit in your Bible because of you. Because we have 6 houses. No one has anything, and your mind to me looks like this beautiful picture of the foreign landscape of you don't have a thought that's valid, and you don't have a thought that is valid. So something looks like this. Oh wow, what happened there? And I'll tell you what happened here. It smelled beautiful. I was looking for the shivers. I shoved my head inside and took a deep lift. And I got right on over here. That's what was happening there. And I was them staring at the golden calf. Absolutely. It was beautiful. I really opened up my eyes. Really opened up my eyes when I shoved my head in there to see, oh, wow. Shay, those fucking kids you see pictures of, I'm going to lay there and be a zombie. Let's knock that shit off. This is sacred material. We were burning the Jews there. We were the one burning that. We're burning the Christians on Facebook right now. So do you need some more pictures? Christians, the earth is no longer 6 years of age. We got to turn you off at that. That's where totally done that. But here's where I'll put my Facebook idea that turn you off on Facebook. That would be pretty swell if that could turn you off. Well, what would it look like if I turned you off on Facebook? It kind of look like that. Oh, where do you put God back into the Bible? Deuteronomy 34:10, Exodus 33:11. Are you actually interested on how long that took? How long did it take, and how does that match? There you go. Something you don't have a question cycle. How long did it take, and why does this match? The instance of time, the single layer, just one. How long did it take me to take apart the King James Version of the Bible? Got questions. Internet built up or too stupid to turn on. How long did it take for me to piece it all verse by verse and get them all written down by line by line? What's this one mean? Really long time. That's about it. But what did I want to accomplish when I started in '96? So what did I want to accomplish? I wanted to see if the 6th and 7th books of Moses would make it a little better for Cuba is actually what I was thinking about when I was doing that. They were so beautiful. And they needed a little blink out. Just synchronize. But what was really kind of funny is what I came to recognize is that not everything in Earth history is just 1,000% off. You fractured everything, Facebook user, with something. This is a distance of time. I can't, the mathematics behind this are too complex to describe what you did. Lord Kelvin missed it. Lord Kelvin kind of had it, but Isaac Newton missed it, and Isaac Newton made it work for his deduction. Also, he made 4,000 yards into his interpretation of those books. My interpretation was, well, that meant we have to get rid of those books. It's all over the place. So, but however, if my interpretation began in '96 and it's get rid of these books, why do we still have them then? Now, and why I haven't done anything about it, why am I saying don't make a big deal about this right now, Facebook user, is because in that distance of time from '96 through to today, not reading the Bible for Jesus, rather reading the Bible for one verse, Genesis 1:9, 1986. I knew the earth was older than 6,000 years of age. I knew that from Britannica. 1986, I knew that. I went to the World's Fair. Oh, in 1986, I knew Darwin was a theory that hadn't been solved yet. 1986, it's still a theory that's not open. No, it's not closed. You got the Big Bang Theory. 1986, you have the theory of evolution still. And in the year 2020, you have the theory that evolved highly smart, evolved great apes, evolved writing. Also, no. How dense? So from 1986, right there in a long diatribe of 13 years, 1986, in order to collapse my church and do it right, and collapse the Bible into my handwritten notes and me saying, just give it all to me. 1986. 1986. Baptized. Start there. Baptized. 1986. Baptism. So the modern 2020 stupid that I'm ripping this out of his hands, he's got the 1970 picture books. Hey, we think this happened, but it was a color drawing is what didn't happen. Oh yeah, primordial soup. We figured out that didn't quite happen. And he's still and so he's carrying around an apocryphatic NIV that where the West was one. Well, that one didn't happen either. Pastor, I'm ripping that apocryphatic NIV out of your Bible, and I'm closing the King James Version of the Bible for you, dipshit morons. Because Jimmy Swaggart did that. Because Jimmy Swaggart also contributed science for God, I guess. 1986 baptism. So 2020 got questions put around my life because internet cult still at 6,000 years. Or approximately. I would think it's approximately that rather than God's not in your book. Rather than too dumb. No, that's a dumb one. Meant you got every word wrong in it, dudes. Every word wrong. Entire thing apocryphatic. Wow. One false Messiah, one 6,000 year. What? We're shit in red. Yay. That hurts my eyes. Shit in red. Uh-oh. Oh, in Bible? Yeah, that was a bad place for it. What? How did that become bad? Why'd you do that? It's swaggered. I got it over here, but they have 75 books and you don't. Why don't you know? So no, I was wrong. The one beside it also has 66 books, and the one above it that has 75 books, and the one beside underneath there. No, it's on top now. I must have like my dog on my lap. Did you know it's better to pray towards my dog than Jesus? He's such a Greek conundrum of the English translations. Just this shattered vessel little guy, and Lepton Hill little guy, little big, little Chernobyl size big kids. The Dead Sea Scrolls kids on Facebook. Let's learn a little. When did man invent writing? When did man invent writing? Kids on Facebook. What year was this one written down? Kid on Facebook saying God magically proved 6,000 years ago. That's kind of silly. This was printed in 1976. These were printed after. Kind of silly. So, in 1986, 2020, we still have 6,000 years of stopping it. So that was printed in 1976. That's the year I was born. 1976 year I was born. That meant it was apocryphatic after that point because 1611 was also apocryphatic. Got it. The whole time frame, it's all mine. 1611. Anything printed after 1611, pretty much. Oops. Got in print. That's the year I was born. So Ben David taking Jesus off the cross, 1611, 19 Facebook would be a good place to do it. Just stop preaching on Facebook would be a good place to never reach again. Hey, tap out on Facebook, never reach again. Don't use that book. 1611, 1611. King James, apart. King James, apart. I can do this one. It's all apocryphal. Yeah, absolutely. I can do this with the Dead Sea Scrolls. The King James one, I have it all memorized. Totally different than what I expected when I found. I didn't think to find that. I just wanted to know what Genesis 1 really meant. So, 1611, King James, so 1992. Trust in Genesis 1:9. Contents. Completely. In this, Genesis 1:9, 1992, I knew I could trust that Bible. I was just distributing and reading and studying. And when I get back to my science, hey, science teacher, look at this verse. I think that's the Pangea. What did she do? Oh, it can't be Pangea because the Earth magically proved 6,000 years. No. She said, you might be right. What millennium is it now? You might be right. So what did she do for me? What millennium is it now? She provided me the roadside geology in Washington State. 1992. When was it printed? 1984. Originally published. See, that'll work. So my teacher. This isn't brilliant. This isn't rocket scientist, but I'm a retired engineer. My teacher and I live like this, learning them properly. What the fuck should I be looking at? My teacher put this lifelong instilled in me this lifelong love for geology by bringing the roadside geology at Washington State in my classroom. I've been trying to figure out since I was 15 how can we use that data. To be honest, I'm going to make a picture book out of this. Is what I was thinking. One of these days, it's pretty simple data. 40,000 year flood data coming in. It's all over the place now. 40,000 year flood from a full. I don't have the right word right now. It's okay because you have a volcano and you can't figure out how old the top is. You have such a hard time with that. Acceptance of what? Acceptance of what? Not everything is right there in front of you. Acceptance in what? Trust in God. You don't need the Bible. We don't need the Bible now. We need 2 verses and no more Bible. Because trust in God. We don't need the Bible right now because cult organization took God out of the Bible. We don't need the Bible. Why is it so easy to get a God out of the Bible? How did I spend 14 years figuring out two broken verses? And how does that actually tell you everything in Earth history? Because it's the Bible. Because it worked that way. There's only enough room for me to take the Bible away from you because, hey guys, tap out. Bible. 6,000 year tap out. There's only enough room. 6,000 year tap out. Pastor, you're tapped out. You're done. No more preaching. Tap out. You're done. There's nothing in the Bible, but don't break the age of the earth. And that's kind of what I began at in 2006. 2006. Recognition through (1992) studies and prior on the first grade and prior. Because you had to learn the whole thing, study the verse. You can learn all the verses of the names of the Bible, get Bible quiz tests on these verses. They'll tell you what to do with them. Okay, just memorize them one by one, take them all out rather than, hey, take the whole Bible apart. What do you get if you get that? And not change any of the words to fit what you think it meant. What would happen if you did that? Pastor, internet user. Well, that's what I did. I took the whole Bible apart, the whole King James Version Bible apart, the whole NIV Bible apart. More so, I handwrote the whole Bible, and there's nothing to show because it's been over many years. 1986 baptism, so you have to take that. 6,000 years is just immoral. I know October 23 for, so put that on top. So October 23, 4004 BC. This is just immoral. And it tells on itself because of a number of factors. It's easy to figure out your way out of, which is why it's easy to sit there. Oh, that's not quite right. I'm going to go for the entertainment of a preacher and enjoy it. And I think of Jesus loves you. This he don't want you to touch his book. Don't fuck with Jesus. Take him off the cross is the only thing to do. Don't use your Bible. Don't go to school. Go to school when you're 12. Learn to write from the Quran. So that's a recommendation. Yeah, I got a little tip. Hey, God would like you to know that Jesus was a false Messiah. He was not my own on that one. Those two verses. How do you not think that took for that little blink out song for Facebook? Wow. That's kind of a rude, just awakening surprise to think of. Recognition through 1992. And in 2020, Jesus really hates you. Jesus, don't fuck with. Jesus, don't love you. Jesus, be cautious of Jesus. Be cautious. Stay clear. Stay clear of name alone. Stay clear of name. Just don't even Don't even use. Don't say. Yeshua the Messiah. Yes. Yes. Go over to Google and they'll show up or translate and they'll show up Yeshua equals whatever and it's Jesus and it's that. And you leave it to that and go like that. And when you look at God in the tent of meeting reading two whole fucking verses, why did it take 14 years to figure out what the King James version of the Bible actually contained? God sitting there, know that you're marine because it took so long. I'm outlining that this length of time was to solve a puzzle. Facebook user. This length of time was 56 minutes. Facebook user, because the Bible was falsely deduced. Because of that, Facebook user, 6,000 year Facebook users, so you get one chance. Because of this, the compression of time from everything that's happened was compressed differently because of false record having been kept. You had to sort through that a little bit more, less arbitrary, more specific as to what you were looking for. We have volcanic data that confused if the cone of the top is older than the bottom. They're confused. The geology is confused with the Bible still. Everyone's still kind of, I don't quite know what I'm looking at. Nothing makes sense. And everything is just fluid. You're 6,000 year dipshit. Geology is 6,000 year dumb. Also, because they're not using the legitimacy of how could I legitimize my data? How could I keep better record of it? How could I legitimize the legitimization of anything? How could you legitimize your own personal birth certificate and quit invalidating it by teaching the other 6,000 years? God questions not too stupid to turn off. Good question. How could they, dipshit, dumb Baptist cult that's too dumb to turn off? Yeah, what would we do with something so dumb? So dumb. Well, what's the consequence of keeping the 6011 Bible 1611 in print in 2020 through to the year 2020 at 2010? Sorry, you fucked up. So stay clear name alone. Put it in red. This is a good way of looking at that one. Stay name in the red. It was a false messiah. How did I figure out that? Because in 1976. Because in 1976, New American, while I'm looking through all the Dead Sea Scrolls trying to make sense of the Bible itself for Genesis 1:9, well, what would solidify that? My conversation with my science teacher who brought me, obviously, I've always known about the White Cliffs of Dover. I've always known and accepted. Well, yeah, good old, yeah, I'm going to figure out how the river formed a deep valley in the Grand Canyon. That's definitely pretty dumb. No sedimentation that you'd have a big pile all swept down to the ocean. It just happened. Yeah, and it wasn't spreading out for millions and billions and billions and billions. It wasn't happening. It was 6 million years. It just happened. A big bit. With every once in a while, it'll leave some scorches when we get a flood. It's always kind of cool. Always just kind of happens. But you never think of the Adam and Eve lived 130 years before they gave birth to Grandpa Seth. Why didn't you think of that? So, welcome out of hell. You memorized a couple verses, I suppose, and that would be a good way to recognize that you were being taught a cult. Oh, what the fuck, 6,000? Get rid of book. You don't need King James in print anymore, especially because it's been fucked with and tampered. It's been touched with too much. It's always been taught wrong. You never once understood the words and what it told you to do. No one in the world actually understood the King James version of the Bible, and that's what I ended up with because of the Dead Sea Scrolls. They didn't understand the King James version of the Bible either. You guys don't understand it. What does it contain? Well, it can contain not God. How do you get out of it? You took him out of it. How do we put him back in there? Well, if we figure it out, tap you out. And so, why did it take so long? How does that actually? How can I use 1610 data and rectify it at 130 years and say that was for real? And Pangea is for real? Well, 130 years they were different. And it being 130 years ago, I've already explained Adam was albino. And it being 130 years when Eve finally gave birth to Seth, as I've already explained, she had a belly button. But when Adam was first made, he didn't have one. Yeah, 130 years when Adam was the first Adam, when he reached 130 years, he didn't have a belly button. He used to fly. He had a little thescoky back then, but he's a whiny little fucktard. Adam, I'd hate to have you as your grandson. Yeah, to be honest, Adam would say to you, "Hey, Christian." And so he flew away. He flew around. Him and Lilith always used to fly along the Washington's coastline all the time. He left the record. He scratched all our racks. I found him at Mammoth Tooth once up there. No, it wasn't. It was a saber-toothed tiger tooth. One of my good friends found that up there. He's an older guy, not older. My youth group leader takes me up there. Hey, look, I found a saber-toothed tiger tooth. What do you think? Oh, wow, that's super cool. Saber-toothed tiger. I bet you that was here before 6,000 years ago. I never confronted him on that one. I never confronted this t-shirt. I never, hey, why don't we think about that twice? You just found that? And then David's out in Idaho with, they just covered up a bunch of mammoth things. Oh, that's bullshit, ain't it? Yeah, we've Kennewick, man, 9,200-year-old fossil remain right there where you found a fossil tooth. Really? I bet you that we could put that away with your closure plan for your church. No, the one that we had this now that it's actually accounted for. We have a lot of data to go through. We have a lot of, you guys have a lot of amends to make. As I explained to you, you're in hell and you don't have brains, as has been sucked out of your brains for being born. To be honest, it's having gone through the vagina as a child, going through the blood barrier, having the virginity lost. There's so much. This is all psychological that I'm teaching you, and it's because Adam was 130 when Eve gave birth to Seth. Let's make better sense of that. How'd that one happen? Why are you going down to 12? When are you going to be at 7? Why aren't you keeping better track at 16? Why are you wobbling around 16.5? Do you accept 130? Makes a hell of a lot better sense. God made them like that. They were albino and they were separately independent. And now Jimmy Swagger's little fucktard great ape children, dipshit dumbs, haven't evolved from great apes, are too stupid for the Bible. Great ape, fuck you, Germany. You fucked us over. I'm from there. Yo, thanks for ushers. This is why the Dead Sea Scrolls showed up. I distributed the Bible in this area. That's what I look like. I'm Ben David. The Bible's invalid at 6,000. No question. Do not argue with me on Facebook, you fucking morons. 6,000? What in the fuck? 6,000 is as dumb as saying that great apes are your children. Oh, we didn't believe that. I know. Well, I don't believe that great apes also eventually wrote down the plans for this castle that's not here. I don't believe that. Or great apes are us as you're too dumb for technology now in the year 2020. You don't need fucking think. What in the fuck? You don't even think. Where was this? What was I under going through a degree? Why are there no 6,000 years ago? Nothing before that for any of this, and now all of a sudden we have 6,000 years later. Yet we have 20,000 years ago. We have totally different. Oh, we think we started domesticating animals, which when they had talking animals, according to the Bible, it would have made a lot better sense for Jimmy Swaggart to cut his balls off there. But Richard Dawkins didn't really help him out when he was like, I'm gonna be Grandpa Senile Idiot on Facebook, reading from Grandpa Senile Idiot on Facebook. Elsewhere, Great Ape, Great Theory. Go over to Wikisource and go read it yourselves. Grandpa Senile, why don't you close it and straighten up your ugly face to be Richard Dawkins? Straighten up. Go look at pictures of George Washington. Straighten up your great ape lips, you moron. You're 6,000 years stupid also, Richard Dawkins. You're as dumb 6,000. You're dumb 6,000. You're dumb 6,000 years. Didn't happen. Yes, I'm going to evolve. Richard dipshit Dawkins. Didn't happen, so I'm going to evolve. So why don't you go read the Bible, dipshit dumb? It's not in your school, you dipshit fucking retard. This is the Holy Bible. You don't teach it. You don't preach it. You learn to handwrite from it. Nothing more. This is your dipshit stupid theory of growing up from great apes. Nothing less. Go over to Wikisource and figure it out. Read it and figure out by reading real scientific data that the Earth's not 6,000 years old and you didn't grow up from great apes. Stop being so stupid, dumb, and moral. I'll figure it out for you, you dipshit, immoral, stupid, 6,000 dipshit, dumb, too dumb for a theory. Go over to Wikisource. You have a computer now. You can pull your head out of your dipshit dumb ass. 6,000, you're what? You're mentally ill. You have what's called a delusional disorder. On Facebook, you have delusional disorder. So here's your dipshit dumb theory. Hey, go over to Wikisource. Use your Facebook wall to pull dipshit dumb 6,000 your ass out of your head and go, hey, when On the Origin of Species was published in 1859, when the fuck was that? You dipshit 6,000, you're too stupid for math. The worlds of thought and religion were jolted. Well, now it's furious that you're so stupid, 6,000. You're stupid. You're just dumb. You're not even smart. You don't even know how to read a book. October 23, 4004. Okay. Up to then, practically everyone accepted the biblical chronology published in the 17th century by Bishop James Escher, who asserted that the earth was created in 4004 BC, and we're done with the entire theory there. When you go, oh, how old are the white cliffs of Dover? Now thinking about it. Neither of the modern science already knew it, and nothing ever matched. So why do we call it that? Because science just says that. So you're $22 trillion in debt. Facebook user, why don't you use this technology to figure out what you can do about that? Let's be smart. I'm not going to be Christian anymore. No, you're going to be smart about that. You're going to collapse your culture. You're going to help me. No, what? Because the earth is not 6,000 years age. Try that. It's immoral to keep the Bible in print and to continue teaching that bullshit. In the year 2020, to continue to teach the cross. It is wrong to continue to teach the legend of Yeshua the Messiah ben Yosef as Jesus. English couldn't get it right. It's wrong for us to do that. It's wrong for us to have our churches. It's wrong for no one to have inspected the Catholic Bible, that one, with all of the Apocrypha. So why did it take so long, and why do I just say it was wrong as compared to how could you, wait, don't make even a big fucking deal about it, because we're dealing with a different layer of time. We're dealing with the monarchies. We're dealing with science. We're not dealing with the emotions. We're dealing with the reason why you look so ugly most of the time. And the distance in time for Adam not being 130 years when he gave birth to Seth, that was real date. And you just got 13 out with 13 of them, like is from the Apostle Paul, to Facebook users. That distance of time told us something very, very important. And that distance in time for 130 years is what we're looking at. And what went wrong with the church, what went wrong. And in that distance in time, you can actually calculate the length of time, that downward slope, left, right, up, down, up. Ooh, it's a big circle, actually. In which calculating this spherical, God and Moses spoke face to face to take me out of the Bible and take me out of the Bible. Don't believe me? In the Bible, questions.org, too dumb to turn off, is that distance time you've had God out of the Bible is the distance in time that your monarchical patterns have been broken. To the distance in time where today, in the year 2020, I'm cleaning up the blood of Eve, or the bloody tampon in Washington State with doctors. It's kind of concerned, not really concerned, huddling together, not answering the real questions because they're not thinking about data properly. Now, why would they not be thinking about data properly, other than a false origin, ancestral origin? Oh, wow, we found shit that's old. It's older than that. Because you're not collating data properly. How long should it have been? Should not have been born is where you needed to start with, which is effort. So just start at day one, and then I got every verse wrong, and I should have never been born because the 1611 was in print invalid. The 1611 was in print. Facebook user invalid. Facebook user, it was invalid. It was invalid. The 1611, every word, every line, everything, totally valid. However, you invalidated it with having it in print at 1611 in print in 2005, 2010. Yet again, invalidated both times with the rent. No one going back in to confirm two verses were correct. That distance in time, because that was God, and because it's a false deduction, is the distance in time from 130 years. How did and why? Think about it long enough. Pangea show up into the monarchical pattern of 1610. How is that accurate, Facebook user? I'm telling you that through this link I'm giving you to the average age of the ex Washington State doctors concerned like myself. Average age of birth defects. Monarch. Direct relationship. Doctor, great job. Direct relationship. Age of birth, direct relationship. That told us in the climate, the different eating arrangements, the peasants were reaching states of energy 26, 27 years of age. That told you to trust in 130, not 6,000. So you're keeping trust in 130. You're not trusting the written record. You're placing trust in a book that you've heard of, but you and then trust in why do we have to believe in this guy, this character? No, no, no. You need to be done with the Bible. Stop teaching Jesus. Jesus was medieval only. The year is 2020. Jesus was medieval only. So we need to take Jesus off the cross in order to understand this length of time. Medieval only, a medieval timestamp. As compared to what did the Bible contain? Facebook user, you can't sort it out. You would not be able to sort out this data. It's too complex of data with reality, which is why NASA scientists haven't noticed 130 trillion times the amount of water at the far edges of our space was in words in the Bible of all things here in NASA's Magic Water Factory. They didn't notice. NASA, you got some water. NASA. Did you know Nell at Life Science over there? He thinks grade A's grew up to become you. That's kind of weird. And I spent a little bit of time over there. We sourced in the read the book, and I read Richard Dawkins. You got a facial deformity, right? I'm gonna hang out. And that's what happened to the preachers who got questions on Lord according to Richard Dawkins and the Bible and the Dead Sea Scrolls. You got no flowers in the great ape. So you turn your back to reality. You fully turned your back to reality. So turning your back to God. Turning your back to God, taking him out of book, keeping everything else that you wanted to believe. Now we have to get rid of the whole Bible because of your false beliefs, Christians, all of them. That was all false. Everything. Oh, why would we have these books? Well, there's a teacher. There's a super teacher. He's preaching the sermon. We're going to create reasons to preach sermons and break our kids. Get the Bible out of your schools. Get the Bible out of your schools. You're going to preach sermons, break your kids, and get the Bible out of your schools after 1859. So in 1986, you didn't have the Bible in your schools when I was baptized, and you still had 4004 BC from way back when. Let's put it at 1859. You had it. You had 1859. Who grew up after that? Well, I didn't. I wasn't born yesterday. However, you run across me. Thanks, friends, anyone who watches. I'm just finishing up 14 years right here of taking the King James version of the Bible. You might have seen me flipping you off because you had it still, but I'm over that. We just have to get rid of it. That was the last of that little. We just have to get rid of that stupid thing. It's too beautiful to have it print stuff. It's actually too nice. I got it. You don't need it. That's. I distributed it in the former USSR. You guys don't need it. You guys don't need it. What you need me to do for you personally on Facebook is close Facebook for you because it's still in print. Because 1611 is still in print, it might help a little bit. But to wait. You know it's only 1611 still. It is only 1611 still because you still have it. So 1896 is 1611 still because you still have James Fisher Chronology, because you still have Bible. It's still 1611 because you still have Bible. They wrote it down in 1611. That's when they grabbed all of those components. You had to take them out. So from 1611 through to through, through to 2020, 1611. Let's put 1999 because that's when we have 6,000. We need to turn this cult off, so we'll put them at the top at the beginning. Cult, you guys need medical treatment. This cult actually needed medical treatment for. Wait, no, guys, we just got this technology. Guys, don't immediately. Oh, we're going to utilize this technology to keep preaching and doing it. We're going to put our kids to work on this shit and make them worse. Wrong. Wrong direction with them. Yeah. There y'all go work at a cult. Yeah, so I have solid cult. Ex-wife worked in World Vision. Good job, hole in the head. Hole in the head, hole in the gospel author. You're the hole in the head. You're World Vision solid cult still. You're all solid cults. The Bible, the King James Version of the Bible is 1611 still. It's the 1611 still. 1611 still. 1611 still. Was it written down? What is taught from it? Was it taught right? No. So 1611 still in 2020, and that 1611 competency thought it told you the age you live. So human competency kept at gullible. Human competency kept a really dipshit dumb gullible. Human competency, Swagger, you're so dipshit dumb white Clifford over gullible. He made you with that brains. He made you little babies with that brains, and then you figured out you were fertile with the Arabs. And then the brains got spread out a little bit. It's difficult to check you out. Where'd you get red? Red hair? Why does my daughter have red hair? Oh, okay. So you got plenty. You have everything now. You have everything now. Where'd you get black? Toning into not green. Why do you have a Persian cat? Why do you have a lynx? Why do you have a mountain lion? And why does the wolf have these little things on its ear that my Yorkshire Terrier didn't? And they have a common ancestry. How far? I'm going to say God made them both, not separately. And even guess what? My little Yorkshire howled like a wolf once. So are they common ancestor? Dog, wolf, maybe. It doesn't really matter. When did that runt of the wolf become a Yorkshire Terrier? That one matters more. So 130 years from Seth, welcome to the OTO. When did that runt of a wolf grow up from? And when did that happen in this? Let me look at Darwin again. Well, when did the runt of a wolf that howled like you howled like a wolf? This name's right in here, Yorkie. 130 years from Seth. He held my beat. It was so cute. I loved it. I was watching Discovery. Good job that we're teaching science on TV and not saying, watch out right over there. There's 6,000 year Earthers who need to know this. But they don't. They don't give a shit about reality. They're dumb. Yeah, they have that book. Why didn't you think of that one? Why didn't you think of that one? Why didn't I think of that one is kind of what I'm saying right now. Why didn't I? What did I start out in 1996 to accomplished when I started writing this fucking thing down. So when I began, it's like, okay, Jesus, Sermon on the Mount is also organized. Oh, I'm going to learn everything about Jesus. Oh, wait, 2020, I had to learn everything not about Jesus. How did you take God out of the Bible? What was the consequence? The consequence is all earth history is race, and you're left in hell with actually a really simple. You were left in hell with a really simple. You were left in hell with a really simple thing to consider long enough, is what it came up to become. You were left in hell with a really simple, because of the solid union of the King James Version of the Bible with God and Moses speaking face to face, the numerical coding of everything at all time. It had to collate a little differently. Had to go with, and could you figure it out? Well, how did we figure out dinosaurs were for real? How long did that take? When did you find the first dinosaurs? We're looking at 1896 data. Yeah, that's going to be real good. 1859 data that could have been used from 1896 that could have been used in a theory to close in 1859, but you didn't. Same data, same volcanoes. 1859. Now up to then, practically the whole world. Look, he's written down here. Caught on to 6,000 year legend kept, and it being legend kept as compared with Facebook user, it being legend kept Facebook user, 6,000 year earth legend kept Facebook user, 6,000 year earth legend kept Facebook user, 6,000 year earth legend kept. It's a legend that you can't solve this theory. Well, that's kind of dumb. By not accepting reality, that's more real. You can't accept reality. You can't close a fucking 1859 theory with Darwin, with Usher right beside it, Easton Press. You couldn't figure out how to close this and just keep it in print and let your kids keep playing with the same fucking theory. 1859, this is old. This is, when did they first invent the airplane? This is, oh, wow, yeah, you definitely invalidated it. CFR 191, you're fucked. This is Facebook. See that airplane? Do you really think your great apes grew up to become the mechanics who built that thing and the pilot who flew that, or anyone like you who's seen it or been in on one, or men like myself who used to report to the vice president to give me signature authority for the entire fleet of the Boeing Company commercial airplanes, and I could have grounded this while I was there until they're all go get fucked off if I wanted to, and I didn't because I don't like you. So you got it. Invalid CFR 191. You can't just believe anything. So you took God out of the Bible. Everything that right there. So having taken God out of the Bible within it went 3,500 BC, having evolved right 3,500 BC, that was a puzzle. Facebook user, you're an invalid, stupid user. You don't even know the ancestral origin of writing. You don't even know when you first started writing. You don't know when you first began writing. Well, that's about dumb when you got to 6,000 and you got 5,500 creatives from Zoomer now typing on Facebook. You stupids. That's as dumb as homosexual great ape stupids playing in the gym. Yeah, great ape stupids, great ape stupid. Yeah, you're all dipshit dumb. You're all dipshit dumb. God doesn't like you. God and Moses spoke face to face, and he actually doesn't like you at all. He doesn't love you. He doesn't love these kids either. God doesn't love you. He requires obedience. If you love me, you will obey me, is what he said, John 14:15. And Jesus shrugged it up, one shut up. So do something like not teaching the Bible falsely with the 6,000 years. That's about as dumb as a box of rocks. You look at that Bible. I was distributing the Bible in the former years. So why would we do that? Because that's a car, and that's mountains, and it's a world, and it's a valley, and it was Pangea, just like once upon a time you got dropped on your head and got left in hell and couldn't open up your eyes for the beauty of the Alps, because the Alps aren't 770 to you because you're a Christian, and Alps aren't 770 you. Oh, how old are they? Where did I come from? Stupid human evolutionists, you were never there. So this little girl's inertial pattern that fit into the Bible along with my daughter, and the 130-year fucking inertial pattern that's in the Bible. All of that brainless retards, brainless Christians, brainless Christian great apes on Facebook, too stupid to remember that the age of the earth is not 6,000 years. You're bleeding. It's not 6,000 years. You're bleeding. You're all in hell. You're all not looking at the right things. And you need to be done with 6,000 year book. You need to be done with thinking. It permitted you to keep your church systems from a book with a false deduction. The book itself, guys, stop using it, guys. Stop preaching it. Stop teaching it. Stop thinking you understood it. Try again. There's one thing wrong. 6,000 years. Well, everything went wrong. You didn't understand the book. You even took God out of the book, 6,000 year users. That's a one. That's a single on and off for the Bible. And being a single on and off, it is a single on and off for the data I'm bringing into you, because they weren't children. Because we're using a better explanation for Adam and Eve. Eve was 130. How'd that happen? Why did Adam live that long? Why was Sarah barren at 90 or 70 or whatever that story? And her children followed the exact same. Well, there's a genetic thing to consider. Why in 3 generations with Sarah's children, herself included, did you have instances in barren? And why do you have that? 3 instances of barren. Who else was barren in the Bible? Well, that would be John the Immerser. You're barren. You're barren with stupidity at 6,000. Stupid. You're barren. You're barren of consciousness. You bought a book. It's always been set at 6,000. Go get a book. It's always been. 1611 has always been at 6,000. It's always been incorrect. It's always been incorrect. Facebook users. 1611 has always been a false 1611. It's always been incorrect, Facebook user. It's always been incorrect. And because you teach 6,000, it's still 1611. Because you kept at your interpretation of 6,000. 1611, 2020 with retention of Bible, with retention of 6,000, with retention of Jesus, with exclusion of God, with ignorance of authorship, with blind acceptance of book with dipshit dumb misuse of John 1:18. John 1:18 with the John 1:18 delusion disorder with John 1:18 delusion. That one broke the Bible and caused you to miss all of this other and broke the Bible. Little John 1:18 literally broke the Bible. But because it is a different break, it is this time break. It's not what you think. John 1:18 broke you. Having people with Bible in print after 1611 broke you personally, because the simplicity of you being a family, being a female, being a male, seeing you all of this and the sensitivity of your organs and all of that, 6,000 years is calculatable from anything having to do with any distance in time of why do you have a genetic defect now such as Down syndrome. It doesn't fit. So you have to go into real data, real history. Well, it doesn't fit in all Earth history. We're going to have to look at our geologic record. We're going to have to look at our paleontological record. We're going to have to look at our fossil remains. We're going to have to understand how did the tusk of a saber-toothed tiger fit in? Was even real? Well, what was Lord Kelvin looking at? As I already explained earlier, he was looking at this Earth. Boom! So Episcopalians, thanks for having it in your Bible. The Earth was a big ball, thick, 20 million years ago, as close as Saturday possible. Big sun is cooling up. So he's measuring something. Hey, I think that thing's gonna come. Hey, maybe we could get out there when it cools off. Let's keep a track of that. Yeah, so he's keeping shit like that. It's got me. You can't keep track of shit like that. He doesn't give a shit. You break in. That's the way to look at it. Because you're an elf for being so dumb. That's the way to read the Bible. Delusions. There's the world without end. Because the 130 year was a better calculable state of existence for humankind, for their dietary intake that would provide you with down to 7 now in 200 years. So your dietary intake, how are you different? The obvious. How are you different? Or what doctors don't you figure out what they eat? Or if they're bleeding, you should really find out. It's not the best to have your women bleed all the time. It's actually not. That's why they were kicked out of the story. It is because Jesus needed to be taken off the cross. Jesus needed to be taken off the cross. The book didn't need to be gotten rid of. And so double negative on that. King James Version for the Dead Sea Scrolls. Jesus needed to be taken off the cross in order to incorporate. Dead Sea Scrolls invalid without Bible, Bible invalid without Dead Sea Scrolls. Jesus needed to come off the cross in order to recognize it. We're going to keep preaching Jesus. We're going to try to talk with a Christian pastor. Hey, look at this. What's this mean? How's that fit in? Oh, we're going to find out something stupid like the quell theory. Oh, it fits right in. You're less than 1% of your lifetime on life on Earth right now. Brilliancies. But yeah, that's a dummy. It's not that. It's the use of them. The pulpit preaching use of. Where did you get the sermon at? You had to think your way out of it. So I got rid of the whole Bible, and then what's left? Everything around it, which is the story. I don't use it that way. You falsified everything. Saul gave you a church in Rome. That was false. It's a false church in Rome. Saul, thanks. False book. Thanks. Actually, I'm really thankful for that one because I'd have no room. So it's not to get rid of it. It's look what he did to you. Look with what he did with you Facebook users, and I'd like to explain. This taking God out of the Bible is such a long shot of you did it, and it's such a long shot from 6,000 years is such a fucking long shot. It's impossible. It is impossible to read that story in Genesis, King James Version, 66 books, and go back. Oh, I need to know what that was and when did that start. It is impossible to properly place that story into existence with where you're at now. If one, you would believe that, and then you go, I'm going to go follow that book, Jesus. So the easy way to describe is Jesus, as I explained to you, he took the Dead Sea Scroll out of the temple. So him having done that, he gave perfect record in his handwritten writing. 3500 BC, perfect record. I've got a fucking lot of writing to go through. 917 fragments. Oh, great. There's, 30,000 Bible verses or something? Yeah, no, it won't take that long. Which one is which? Oh, fuck. Is a better way of saying it. So when you say which one is which, oh, fuck. Into which Dead Sea Scroll fragment, oh, fuck you. Which verse did you get wrong? All of them. Okay. Then we're done. And then we're looking at the consequence. The consequence for not looking at the entire Bible that way. The consequence of not looking at the entire Bible that way. The consequence for not looking at the entire Bible that way. The Bible could do something to you, Facebook users, for having it in print and preaching it wrong. The Bible itself could do something to you for doing that. And it was that the Israelites stared at the golden calf. So stare at me, explain to you that you're in hell. The Dead Sea Scrolls. These came first. Which came first? The chicken or the egg? Was there a sermon? Let's find out. I already know they're in small, so I'm correcting you. But, however, I'll show you how you know that. 1. The Luckman Foundation gave you a bad book, 1976 Apocrypha. Figured that out after 14 years. It's just apocrypha. It's good apocrypha. It's English, sure. The date 60s for the gospel according to Matthew. However, if you use your grade ape, stupid grade ape, I'm going to actually learn something. Stupid evolutionists or 6,000 year stupids. Grade ape fingers that control T and go over to another Chrome browser and figure out what millennium this was not written down in by saying, hey, when was this book written down? And you learn that it wasn't written down. You come up with like a 40-year range. I bet you there's something's wrong with it then. 80-year range elsewhere. Oh, so you kept bad record of that. You kept bad written record of the history of the Bible with Matthew at date 60s. That's obviously wrong. But how wrong could that be? If you have human evolution, you have both writing child. Facebook user, you have human evolution, you have a theory to close. You have human evolution, you have a theory to close. Go over to Wikisource and do that, please. Pull your head out of your 6,000 year ass. Help your children get this book out of your body, out of your pulpits, and determine what happened to you, because it's not in your school. So it began the person who can figure out what the fuck happened to you. Okay, the advancement of the voice will work on getting it in your schools. No, it's because it had a little thing before that that I'll tell you about more later. Now, when they just fuck you, go look at King James again. His temptation, fuck you, go look at the King James again. The picture of the kingdom life, you got fucked on Facebook to go look at King James again. God and Moses face to face, how could he pull that one off? For me to utilize Facebook, hey, we have a cult. We have a cult. We have a cult. Use Facebook in order to close a cult. Hey, guys, we have a cult. We have a 6,000 year Earth cult. We have a 6,000 year Earth internet. Hey, guys, we have a 6,000 year Earth. Well, 75% of you forgot. Is that so? 25% of you use this technology and keep teaching 6,000. That's ignorance. That's foolish. Because that's so ignorant, because that's so foolish, it's me reaching out to you on Facebook. Because that is so ignorant, because that is so foolish, it is me making it simple. Hey, let's use Facebook to turn James Usher off. And turning James Usher off would be meaning turning off your Bibles, not teaching. Oh, we think it said that. It didn't. It didn't. None of the value you have as a 6,000 year Earth conductive legend keeper is nothing to taking God out of the Bible. Forever, we now have to get rid of the Bible forever. Because you were born. Take that a little bit better and closer. What year is it now? It's 2020. Because you're born. I'm telling you on Facebook, you should not have been born after the year 1611. Because still 1611, because you're... Oh, it came back. No, it's still 1611. It is still 1611. It is still 1611. You're following a 1611 false Messiah in writing in English. It's a false English 1611 Messiah you're typing about. Jesus, be careful of them, actually. Because Jesus provided you a take me off the cross pattern for Facebook. What I've been able to determine with this. So watch this. How old is the Grand Canyon? Well, how many forget you? Why don't you give it a shit at 70 million years of age? Facebook. And NASA. Comma. How old is the Grand Canyon? How old is the Grand Canyon? Why do I come across, well, the Grand Canyon is a hodgepodge? Well, the Grand Canyon is a hodge. hodgepodge of old and new sections. Old and new sections. So, Facebook user, I'm linking you to look at this. Look at this. So, here, this old. You see that old, the sides of the cliffs. Do you see the stratification? Is it the same all the way throughout, all the way to the pictures? Now look at the third one. Do you think the river did that in 6 million years? Do you think God sprinkled that 6,000 years ago and it's just like that? Why would that not be the case? Do you think it's 70 million years age? Why would that also not be the case? Do you think 4.53 billion years ago those rocks may have been touching? Maybe. And you didn't have a river going through because you don't have any sedimentation at the end of that river as Pangea was spreading out. Any chance from Pangea, Genesis 1:9, Facebook user? It being that it's just false, you got to do shit like that. Facebook user. And you got to understand geology. Facebook user, you obviously have no education if you don't understand a little bit. You can't trust the age of the hills. Why don't you know anything about volcanoes? Let's find locally, Facebook user, how old are the White Cliffs of Dover? So when Lord Kelvin himself was looking at not the White Cliffs of Dover, trying to figure out how old could that be, he was looking at the sun, thinking it was going down to become this Earth in the 1800s, and then Darwin thought the White Cliffs of Dover came from cats, and rather than all of the coccoliths that died over millions of years, it's just no one was thinking about it. So that no one was saying, no one thought that the Bible might just be a 6,000 year Earth and Bella Facebook user. No one thought that. It's 6,000 year Earth and Bella Facebook user. You can't use it at Facebook. 6,000. It's not valid for 6,000. The Bible is not valid at continuing to teach it at 6,000. You're setting. You got to turn it off to know the real age of the Earth, guys. Stop teaching it.